was only one champion, and I paid my dues to become #1.
In trouble there. Will he get over this first round? The gun shooter.
Larry Holmes.
Beating up everybody, 31 fights, beating Ernie Shavers, beating Kenny Norton, had Ernie out 3 to 4 times, you know?
The Easton assassin.
Nobody in the world could beat me.
Unappreciated during his historic reign, Holmes went 48 fights unbeaten.
What a punch!
You're being pretty confident, cocky even.
I'm not cocky, Howard. I just like to talk the facts, you know, and I'm very positive. I am confident of this fight.
Measure the man, and he is really trying hard to put him away.
But he is one of the greatest in heavyweight history.
Boom, perfect timing.
Larry got it right there. That should be the start of something big. Oh, he's out. It's over.
Raised in Easton, Pennsylvania.
His story is not unique in boxing. He dropped out of school at 13 for a career in a car wash.
Holmes would famously become a sparring partner for Muhammad Ali, helping him to mold his skills against the greatest.
Well, you know, he gave me a job in 1971. He gave me a job working with him as a sparring partner. And let me travel with him, be around him, and I was able to see how he really was. The last day was when he fought Chuck Weapon in 1975, when I got my last pay for $3,000. I said, I can't be a sparring partner no more. I got to go do my own thing. He wished me luck, and that's when I took off. 3 years later, heavyweight champion of the world.
When Holmes felt he was ready, he left Ali's camp and pursued a career of his own.
Look at the history of Larry Holmes as a fighter. And in the very beginning, there were questions about him that haunted him throughout his career.
I wasn't supposed to be there. My legs were too small. I was just a copy of Muhammad Ali. I couldn't fight. I couldn't take it. But I proved them all wrong.
Larry, to me, looks like a very confident individual right now. He's very relaxed.
The trainer of Larry Holmes, who's whipping up with that left jab.
Ali's shadow loomed large over Holmes.
The undefeated heavyweight from Easton, Pennsylvania, Larry Holmes. Those are yours, middleweight. Here we go.
All right, it's round one of a 10-rounder between Larry Holmes in the white trunks and Rod Bobick in the red trunks.
You notice Holmes has more speed of hand. He's a smarter boxer. As I said before, Bobick was strictly a brawl.
The Ali comparisons were fair. Holmes had clearly learned a great deal from his time with the greatest.
That one almost floored him. Bobick has never been off his feet, but he almost went that time. Well, the rope sailed. And the referee is going to stop it, and it was a fine decision on behalf of the referee. And now Larry Holmes has had 17 fights. He has won them all, 17. He has scored 12 knockouts. Larry Holmes proceeding along his way up the heavyweight ladder.
Don King controlled my situation. They had me. I fought 1 year 6 times and made $700. And nobody gave me anything. I'm Larry Holmes, the Easton Assassin. Today on ABC, I will knock Ernie Shavers out in between the 5th and the 9th round.
This is the Sports Pavilion at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas, Nevada. The 12-round heavyweight fight, if it goes that long, between Ernie Shavers and Larry Holmes. Ketty, the trainer and manager of record of Larry Holmes.
After a slow and steady climbing of the ranks, Holmes took aim at the big time.
He has fought nobody notable, so this will be the test. As for Ernie Shavers, he's 54-6-1 with 52 knockouts. He is a puncher.
A massive test against a historic puncher, Ernie Shavers. Shavers had gone the distance against Muhammad Ali.
Holmes. Right there, Ernie connected strongly with Holmes. And again, we'll find out as the fight goes along, and if Shavers can't hurt Holmes or put him away, whether Ernie has the stamina. You see him covering up that left is always in his face and bothering him. I think Ken said it. Holmes is in control. He's been fighting his kind of fight, and Ernie is in a little bit of trouble. And Holmes is measuring him, has him in the corner right above him.
But like any all-time great, Larry Holmes was able to decipher Shavers' style.
Ernie Shavers left of your screen. Larry Holmes back to us. A fight that's had action from the beginning up to this point.
As the fight progressed, Holmes took command.
You're going to have to pay some attention to this kid. That's it, baby. Uses that left. It's almost piston-like. We are about at the end of the fight, and Shavers is ready to go. The fight is over, and Larry Holmes has put on a tremendous boxing demonstration.
Holmes secured the unanimous decision win and was now set to contend for the heavyweight title.
The winner by unanimous decision, the Easton assassin, Larry Holmes.
Fine boxing demonstration by that young man. For Holmes, an easy and overwhelming victory, and suddenly some people knew about Larry Holmes.
He had one of the greatest fights, which is totally unrecognized by most people, or at least slid over, against Ken Norton for the vacant WBC championship.
Larry Holmes could be called the emerging heavyweight. Only 28. He's been around a long time nonetheless. Comes from Easton, Pennsylvania. Thus the label, the Easton Assassin.
Ken Norton had famously broken Muhammad Ali's jaw in his monumental upset over Ali.
Ken Norton, I remember that fight as being one of the most thrilling heavyweight fights you could ever wish to see.
For what I think will be an exciting night of boxing at the very least in terms of the Holmes-Norton fight, which appears at the outset so unpredictable, so contrasting in the styles of the fighters, in their ages and in their respective experience.
You did not get your shot at a world title till your 28th fight.
The fight brought out all the stars.
Let's pan over, if we can, Chet, to Chevy Chase. Roberto Duran, the sly one himself. Rocky, and he's going to make another one called Rocky 2. Now, Holmes approaches the ring.
Many wanted to dismiss Holmes as just a watered-down version of Ali.
He did, for much of his career, expressed that he felt he deserved more respect than he got. A lot of that was because he came after Muhammad Ali.
The WBC heavyweight champion, Ken Norton.
Holmes trying to look baleful, perhaps in the manner of the late Sonny Liston. A half sneer across the visage.
Holmes came out sharp.
Now the fight's underway. First round action for the WBC heavyweight title.
He bullied Norton around, beating him to the punch.
There is a redness in Norton's left eye. The left corner of the left eye already. 3 quick lefts in a row by Holmes. Holmes with a good quick combination on the inside. Holmes dominating this fight. Kenny trying to cover. But Norton is really a troubled fighter. His movements seem jerky at this point. Larry Holmes is controlling this fight.
In the 5th, Norton connected with the right.
Right there, the best blow by Norton in the fight. He got in a stinging right.
Tough, strong, fight you all day long.
His hope for the fight. Clearly, Holmes, in my book, won the last round. Arthur McCanny's 2. And I've given Holmes every round since the second. 5 rounds to 1.
Holmes absorbed the punches, seemingly unfazed.
Larry Holmes, so far at least, fighting a beautiful fight.
I think it was one of my finest fights.
Holmes really has developed. Good right there by Holmes. desperately trying to fight back.
Norton went the distance, but Holmes had beaten him handily.
Well, the battle has overtaken us. Fans trying to pour over us up into the ring. The scene in the ring is pure gold.
Or the new
He was now the WBC heavyweight champion of the world.
And so Holmes acquired the crown that day.
Holmes began a streak of heavyweight dominance, beginning with Alfredo Evangelista.
That we've seen nothing in the history of Alfredo Evangelista to consider him in any way a serious threat to Larry Holmes.
Larry Holmes is finally coming down and toward the ring. Unbeaten with 19 knockouts, the man who arrived against Shavers and Norton.
Fighting out of Easton, Pennsylvania, the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, the Easton assassin, Larry Holmes.
We're about ready to go for the start of this fight. Larry Holmes, an overwhelming favorite, and seemingly he should be. And Holmes wants to make a big impression here tonight. Holmes has that long left. He uses it like a pistol.
The slow road to becoming champion had forged an incredible skill set.
Good right uppercut by Holmes. Larry Holmes.
Third round. Of course, Evangelista has never been knocked out. The almost liquid grace of Mr. Holmes, who, however big he is, has twinkle toes. Round 4 underway.
Oh, a good right lead by Larry. Caught Evangelista. Good combination. Scoring virtually at will. You saw that.
In the 7th round, Holmes dropped Evangelista for the first time in his career.
Well, I think Larry got it right there. That should be the start of something big. Oh, he's out. It's over. And so Larry Holmes remains the WBC heavyweight champion.
One of the greatest heavyweight boxers of all time.
The knockout solidified Holmes' position atop the sport and kicked off a historic string of title defenses.
And so tonight, it will be Larry Holmes against third-ranked WBC challenger Ozzy Ocasio for the World Heavyweight Championship. There is his boxing record. 9 knockouts out of 13 victories, of course.
Next, Holmes ran into an undefeated Ozzy Ocasio.
Dancing around in his accustomed manner. Remember, Holmes, so quick of hands, so quick of feet. Stinging left jab, his most potent weapon. Ocasio has long arms. His reach is 77, Holmes 81. The bell, the action underway.
It was a clinic as Larry battered Ocasio.
Remember Ali again. Right lead now. Now Ocasio's hurt. He drew a right lead, left himself wide open. And down went Ocasio. 7th round.
Scoring at will, the fight looked like another dominant outing. He dropped it 4 times.
Ocasio shakes his head. He wants to go on. The 3 knockdown rule waves. A championship fight. Padilla lets it go on. How much more?
Eventually, the fight was stopped.
Padilla stops the fight. Finally, taking 1 knockdown too late. The kid could have gotten seriously hurt.
He was so consistent. I mean, all those title defenses begs to tell you how consistent he was. To me, that was the greatest trait of his, is how steady he was.
He schooled the man called Hercules, Mike Weaver.
The undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, Larry Holmes!
So there it is then. The 3rd defense for Larry Holmes of the WBC title. 6'3" there.
If not the greatest, almost the greatest left jab in heavyweight history.
The example already of Larry Holmes' fabulous left jab. and he promised to do some sharp left-hand boxing today. What a reach he's got there, 81 inches.
He's probably got the best jab in the world.
In the steel area of Pennsylvania. What a good flurry. This is champion stuff.
You and me and boxing trainers love jabs. The fans don't.
He's going to finish it now in the 4th round.
Yeah, he definitely required a little bit of that kind of purist in order to really appreciate him.
What a punch! Right at Holmes' feet. He almost gets himself tangled up with him. He can't get up. In the 11th round, he's pulled it out of the fire, it would seem. The bell has saved Mike Weaver. Well, he got the best of the doubt with that count and the bell coming to his aid.
After the brutal uppercut, Weaver was saved by the bell.
He's up on his feet first, Mike Weaver. But I don't think he can manage this round. Surely Holmes can pull it now. That uppercut stops all of them. He can't wait much longer. That's it. No, yes it is. It's all over. In the 12th round, the crowd are ridiculously protesting, in my opinion, because Weaver was just not fighting back at that stage, and there has to be compassion.
I was going so good, so strong. I was beating up everybody. 31 fights, beating Ernie Shavers, beating Kenny Norton. Had Ernie out 3 to 4 times, you know?
Larry Holmes was somehow, some way, somewhere lost in the shadow of Muhammad Ali, whom he basically succeeded.
It's a tremendous night of boxing live featuring that man, Larry Holmes. Holmes, unbeaten in 31 outings.
Holmes would take on a familiar foe.
So, it is Larry Holmes against Ernie Shavers, the reborn fighter he claims to be. And there are a lot of people around here who think that Shavers may indeed take apart Larry Holmes this time. Holmes boasts that he has never come into the ring cold. And his body, now being greased up, looks to be superbly trimmed.
He is undefeated in his professional career. The champion, the Eastern assassin, Larry Holmes.
There's Giacchetti, who just saw the bell for round 1. And Ernie doesn't seem to know what to do about Holmes. The other eye of Shavers. He's in deep trouble. And Shavers was stung by that Holmes right. Shavers was hurt. There was a good right. There was a good right.
Shavers looked to close out his career with one final moment of glory.
You got off the floor with Ernie Shavers, one of the greatest punchers of all time.
People say that he's the hardest puncher ever.
Shavers must have used all he had left to score the knockdown, because after that...
What noise! What a turn of events! Round 8, game of fight than he is fighting. Right, must keep moving. From Holmes' point of view, Ernie. It's gone back the other way. Look, the wild right.
Like Ali said, he's a tough acorn to crack.
Yes, look at that right against the left side of his face. Dave Pearl, the referee, checking with Ernie, trying to know where he's at. That's it. It's stopped by Dave Pearl. It's an 11th round technical knockout. Larry Holmes, the winner, and still the champion, but he almost won.
Shavers had tested Holmes again, but ultimately, Holmes prevailed.
I always tell people this about Ernie Shavers. If he didn't hit me as hard as he hit me, he didn't knock me out. I think he hit me so darn hard, my body shook and it woke me up.
Holmes wants recognition. That's been his theme. That's been his dream. Now Larry looks like he's going to work.
He made quick work of Lorenzo Zanon.
There's the right lead. And so it's over in the 6th round. An inglorious fight from all angles.
Larry Holmes still the champ. For instance, he can pass Tommy Burns and Joe Louis in consecutive knockout heavyweight title defenses. His 33-fight winning streak puts him right up there with some of the very best. In his 5 title defenses, a total of 43 rounds, he lost only 5 rounds on all 3 judges' scorecards.
Larry Holmes, the holder of the WBC title, who beat Weaver in the 12th round when he was attacking that title, is clearly the best heavyweight in the world. It's him whom we see next now in his 6th defense of the title. It is against the number 2 ranked American Leroy Jones, who was a massive 44 pounds heavier than the champion.
Weighing 254 1/2 pounds, big, bad Leroy Jones. Champion Larry Holmes.
Holmes is 30 years of age, weighs 211, appears superbly conditioned. 2 weeks ago. There's the tail of the tape, the bell, the fight begins. We have gotten a shocking report from Landover, Maryland, that Angelo Dundee was knocked out by a fan as he was leaving the arena after the fight. Minute left to go. It's the first sign of desperation. Look at that.
Against big bad Leroy Jones, Holmes wore the larger man down.
Larry going more to the uppercut now. Jones left in round 8, and Larry throwing every...
Jones could barely lift his gloves as Holmes pounded on him.
And they're stopping the fight, and it's a good thing that Richard Green did.
Larry Holmes used his money to create a business empire.
In order to understand why he keeps boxing, let's forget about Marciano's records. Take a tour of the Larry Holmes empire in a small town in Pennsylvania.
Each time he fights, he takes something like $2 million home with him. He's made $45 million so far in the ring.
There's a place to park, a place to wine, and a place to dine.
This is John Henry, named after my father.
If he was bothered by fans overlooking him, it was made easier to endure from all the money he brought in.
To keep up with the Holmeses, you'd have to have a swimming pool indoors, just off the living room, and garage space for at least 9 cars. The toys, the Rolls Royces, the Mercedes, and custom-built Zimmers, the proof that a man has made it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the heavyweight champion of the world.
The expected antipathy for Larry Holmes.
Next, Holmes took on Scott Ledoux in a one-sided beating. Holmes masterfully counters the wild swing from Ledoux and delivers the sledgehammer right.
There you go. Baby Pearl is stopping the fight. Interesting, isn't it, that the crowd boos? Ali is going up on the ring apron and trying to crowd into the act. We will, of course, be talking with Larry Holmes.
The fans again booed the champ.
Ali, as you see him on the ring apron, trying to steal the scene.
I want all of you to know that I'm coming back and I'm going to destroy Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes has the chance. I'm going to come back. I'm 4-time champ. I promise you, I'll destroy Larry Holmes. He's nothing. He's got no class. He's still my sparring partner. He hasn't improved, not at all. That's why I came to watch him. And I promise you, I'll wipe the ring with him. There's no way the man got no class with me.
Muhammad Ali sought to stir up attention for a potential title shot. Despite Ali's age and clearly diminishing mental facilities, he was allowed to challenge Holmes for the title.
You watch. That's why I say you see a miracle. I've had 2-year rest, 2 years off. You're right. 2 years off. Take what you say, and I'm gonna whoop Holmes.
What do you think you do with Muhammad Ali if you got him?
Muhammad Ali is no question about Muhammad Ali anymore. There's no more Muhammad Ali. There's only one, Larry Holmes. Muhammad Ali has seen the bright side. Now he's on the dark side.
Put in a no-win situation. I beat him up. I beat the old man. He beat me up. I never had it.
Muhammad Ali, the man who hasn't even fought since September 15, 1978. He is 38 years of age now. He has taken off more than 50 pounds in the last 6 months. How much strength can he have left? What will his tactics be? What will his weapon be? Nobody really knows. He has been obsessed with the desire to establish that Larry Holmes is afraid of him. Green having trouble getting the fight started. The bell for round one. Wide-eyed, posturing Ali.
This is one of the saddest fights in boxing history.
Holmes really would like to make mincemeat of him early.
Tell us about the time that you got into the ring against Ali, the man who's been your idol and somebody who you've looked up to.
A good combination by Holmes.
It was tough to a certain extent, but I had the mindset, him or me, better him than me, you know.
Ali never should have been allowed to fight. Holmes was forced to pound on his former hero, trying everything he could not to hurt him too badly.
Larry Holmes has won the first 3 rounds quite clearly. Holmes having a cautious cakewalk.
I didn't want to hurt nobody because I'm not a mercenary. That ain't my business. My business is to get in there and make them surrender and get out without getting any pain inflicted on me.
Ali may be hurt. He may be pretending, but he may be hurt.
You can see when Ali fought Holmes, he was shot. He wasn't the same fighter in any way, shape, or form that he had been in the years previous.
What do you want to do? Game's over. You're coming to cheat second. All right. I stopped the fight.
The fight was stopped, and the sad end to Ali's career was finished.
There was some residual hatred from defeating Ali and also fighting in Ali's wake.
To many, Muhammad Ali is the absentee landlord of champions. Holmes did knock out Ali in 1980, but Ali by then was a broken shadow of himself.
Do you think you were in a no-win situation following Muhammad Ali?
I was in a no-win situation. I was damn if I did, damn if I didn't.
This event I'm showing you happened many years after Trevor Berbick fought Holmes. That's Larry Holmes. He's about to do a flying ninja kick off a car right into Berbick. I think by seeing it now, you'll understand that these two men do not like one another.
And there was more behind the fight than mere millions. It all erupted because of a heavyweight love triangle.
Remarking about some illicit affair that had occurred between Holmes and some woman.
Berbick's tirade about Holmes having another woman reportedly made Holmes' wife Diane very upset. The valet melee resulted from 10 years of bad blood between Larry Holmes and Trevor Berbick. During that time, they've pummeled each other during championship fights and have had bitter feuds over money outside the ring as well.
A scheduled 15-round fight for the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the World. Heavyweight Championship, always all kinds of electricity here in the crowd, and you can really feel it right now as we prepare for the Larry Holmes-Trevor Berbick Championship fight. And here is Larry Holmes coming up onto the apron of the ring, and now into the ring. Holmes undefeated in 36 fights. He has had 27 knockouts. Larry Holmes is the undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, and Trevor Berbick is the champion of Canada. Berbick having one loss, tomorrow an otherwise perfect record, but that was a one-round knockout in the hands of Bernardo Mercado. Round one, heavyweight championship here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And Berbick comes right after Larry Holmes.
Comes right back again.
The fight itself was a one-sided affair, with Holmes scoring at will and Berbick clinching over and over again.
There it is. It's all over, and this crowd invading the ring here.
At this point, Holmes was beginning to enter some rarefied air, joining the likes of Joe Louis and Rocky Marciano with his consecutive title KO streak, as well as his undefeated streak.
So then your next fight was with Leon Spinks.
Didn't like him at all.
Next up, Leon Spinks.
But being a heavyweight champion didn't let that be like that. So it brought a whole lot of obligation for me to do, and I didn't know then. So I had a lot of trouble doing that yet.
A tremendously fine fighter. Leon at 225 pounds.
I didn't like him at all because he took my wife's hat. She said, "That's my hat, that's my hat. I'm gonna tell my husband on you." And he went over and kissed her on the cheek. And I said, "I'm gonna get you for that."
From Easton, Pennsylvania, the undefeated Easton Assassin, the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Larry Holmes.
The crowd favorite within the arena, obviously Leon Spinks. 12-pound weight advantage for Holmes, but that's not consequential. The bell. And we may have a good fight here. Holmes an overwhelming favorite, of course.
I whooped him. I whooped him.
That's how wild Spinks is. He hasn't been able to get away from the ropes, and Holmes is really teeing off on him. Hasn't missed. Spinks is ready to go, and goes very quickly. Larry Holmes got to him and took total command.
And I had him crawling in the ring. Did you see that tape? You got to look at some of these tapes.
Fight is stopped that quickly. Toe thrown in.
The win continued Holmes' KO streak.
All right, round 11 live from Pittsburgh. The welt in the left eye of Snipes is just huge.
After scoring the technical knockout on Snipes, the fans booed the champ again.
Again the right, and now Rudy Ortega steps in and stops the contest. And Snipes is saying no, 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 and the fans are booing. An 11th round TKO.
Jerry Cooney was viewed as a rising beast.
Tell us about the fight with Jerry Cooney, because that was huge, wasn't it? Absolutely massive. It captured global attention.
A powerful puncher with a string of knockouts, and a challenger many believed was more than a match for Larry Holmes.
And then the next fight in '82 was you versus Jerry Cooney.
Beloved by fans for his spectacular knockout power, and thought to be the one who could take down Holmes.
The basic reason for this multi-million-dollar extravaganza is that, just as blacks identify with heroes like Jackie Robinson and Muhammad Ali, white people occasionally invest in a Vince Lombardi or a Jerry Cooney. Because Sugar Ray Leonard is the most popular athlete in America of any persuasion, I think it's fair to say that this impulse is more racial than racist.
The fight would be the biggest payday of Larry Holmes' career.
Larry Holmes comes in here having won 39 fights without a loss. He is 39-0, 29 of those fights coming as knockouts.
And Mr. Holmes is coming. Remember, protect yourself at all times. Understand that. Shake hands, man. Let's get it on.
Crowd comes alive. There is electricity. I realize that may be a cliche, but there is simply no other way to describe what is happening right now. Both men wearing white trunks. Cooney with a clover leaf. Red trim on Larry Holmes. Holmes comes quickly out, takes a jab from Cooney.
It didn't take long for Larry to take control of the fight.
Cooney took a good right hand from Holmes. He staggers and is down. Cooney is down from the right hand by Larry Holmes. Cooney's legs are really wobbly.
Cooney's really gone now.
Cooney very wobbly in the center of the ring. Victor Valley. And Victor Valley is saying no more, I believe. Victor Valley is in the ring saying no more, that's it, it is over. And Mills Light raises Larry Holmes' hand in victory, so Larry Holmes retains the title. Victor Valley stepping in and stopping the fight.
It was just a matter of time, Barry. And the accumulation of punches really did a number on Jerry Cooney. Larry Holmes saw that Cooney was in trouble, and it was just a matter of time, Barry.
The win only brought more questions, wondering if retirement was coming.
Larry, the fighter, is the last to know when to get off stage. You think you're the man you were 3 or 4 years ago,
You're getting hit more. It means your reflexes are not what they used to be. You can't put people away. Your strength isn't what it used to be. Do you find that you're not the fighter you were a few years ago?
And we welcome you to our night of boxing. A night of boxing that features Larry Holmes defending his WBC heavyweight championship for a 16th time. This is round 5.
Holmes pushed Scott Frank around for 5 rounds.
Oh, good right hand by Holmes. Scott Frank says it wasn't anything. That's it. Here it is. All over. So it is all over in round 5. And Larry Holmes having his way from the opening bell with no problem at all. Throwing a blank at Scott Frank.
Adding one more KO to his already lengthy resume. Next, Holmes would take on Marvis Frazier.
You think that Holmes can stand up to 3 minutes of every round pressure like you put on people?
Well, I don't think so, but you know what they say, chip don't fall far from the block.
Marvis was the son of legendary warrior Joe Frazier. Holmes said he had watched young Marvis grow up in the gym.
Fighting out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, here is the undefeated Marvis Frazier.
So in British conversion, that's 14 stone 4 pounds.
Hey, Larry.
So the final rundown.
Truck in the dressing room. Any questions from Mr. Frazier's corner? Any questions from Mr. Holmes' corner? Okay, let's get it on.
I would suspect that those trunks that Frazier's wearing were his father's. They were certainly the same colour that Joe wore when he fought Ali. A little bit of jeering from the crowd there. Oh! He's been down as an amateur, Marvis Frazier. This is the first time as a pro. He's not in control of his legs. He measured, and he really could do with those seconds ticking away faster than ever in the opening round. He shouldn't have dropped his hands. Really putting young Frazier in trouble there. Will he get over this first round? He said, I was brought up with this kid in the gym. I'm going to get no pleasure out of beating him up. Bill Slane, the referee, hopefully giving him every chance, but it's all one way now, and he stopped it in the opening round with just a few seconds to go, 3 seconds probably to the end of the first round. There's Joe saying to the son, okay kid, I know what that's all about. It's happened to me, but of course never as quickly as that.
But even though Holmes has been champion for longer than anyone since Joe Louis, he's still not taken seriously by the fight crowd.
Hi, I'm Larry Holmes. I'm going to knock the jinx off of Michael Spinks.
Setting aim at his 49th victory, Larry Holmes took on the lightweight champion, Michael Spinks.
Larry Holmes, who at 36 years of age, still a great champion, but not the fighter he once was.
A victory over Spinks would match Rocky Marciano's 49-0 record and secure Larry Holmes' place in history.
Larry Holmes, the heavyweight champion, tries to make it number 49 as he takes on a tough opponent, undefeated light heavyweight champion, Michael Spinks. He's a man who was always striving for his just due. Here he comes into the ring now. Now, of course, it is the comparison with Rocky Marciano. He's already gone through the comparison with Muhammad Ali. And the general consensus is, well, he's a great champion, but he's no Rocky Marciano. Round 1, heavyweight championship. Both men undefeated.
Oh, big man. Every round.
Almost missed that right hand. And there's a good left by Michael Spinks.
Look at him. Oh, I gave that round to Spinks, and just as Billy Conn was, at this stage of the fight, after 12 rounds, I think it'd be fairly said that Michael Spinks is the heavyweight champion of the world. Can he hold it for 3 more rounds?
But does a boxer or any athlete know when he's been used up? Or so used up that he can be taken?
3 minutes left, and you have the feeling Holmes is going to need all of them. It's a right hand by Spinks. The crowd on its feet in anticipation of what could be a new heavyweight champion. Out of time. This one is over. Listen to the crowd.
The defeat ended Holmes' perfect record. Though he fought for many more years, he never again regained the crown. Larry Holmes reigned atop the heavyweight division for 7 years.
Execution. There's that left hand. Sets him up. Bang. Back with the right hand.
He defended his title 20 times, one of just 5 men to do so.
That one perfectly timed, and I don't think Willis is going to make it up. He will not.
Bringing up how difficult it is for any champion to clean out his division, which he did over a 7-year period.
He did. He held the title for 7 years.
Big shot. Larry Holmes getting a
7-year reign as heavyweight champion.
unbelievable. He is out. Michael Greer.
I consider myself as one of the greatest fighters of all time. You know, people don't want to hear that, but the facts is in the pudding, you know.
Larry Holmes.
Has the right lead, and how quickly Zanone went down.
Nobody in the world could beat me.
The Easton Assassin.
The Easton Assassin, Larry Holmes.
Nobody brings it home like
Joe Vincent.
nobody.
Make it so.